Welcome! In this episode, we'll be doing lines. Let's get started. Lime is actually my favorite food to paint. I really enjoy the green. So I have two little lime here by the window. I want to start by defining the composition. So I have one lime on this side. This is the lime on the other side. So try to look at the fruits as one unity, as shapes instead of individual fruits. So I have the light coming from this direction. So the shadow is going toward the left side. So we have a little overlapping here. So a little bit of the drop shadow. The shape of the lime is very distinct. So it has a little bit of a tip here. And this lime also has a drop shadow. The drop shadow is usually in the shape of the object. So in this case, it's round. Ideally, we like a 3/4 composition, which means it's slightly tilted toward one side. In this case, the composition itself does tilt toward one side, so we're about 1/3 of the way here, where the tallest part is. So when you're doing composition, try to think of a triangle shape. So we have a triangle shape like this. So this is our composition. And you don't really have to outline everything in detail. And this is really all we need. Just make sure that you define terminator, which is where the light and shadow divide. So this is the line that defines where the shadow starts. And this is the line that defines where the shadow starts. So this is a form shadow, and it's a little different from the drop shadow. The drop shadow over here usually have a very dark part that where the object is hitting the ground. Drop shadow is usually darker and more and sharper. So that's about what I need to do as far as the first step is defining the form. Second step, I'm gonna start with the darkest part of the fruit, which is gonna be actually quite warm in the shadow, but the terminator is usually cooler, so I'm gonna start with a blue to define the terminator. This is the most important part of any object you paint. Really doesn't have to be fruit, it could be any still life object, or it could be a portraiture. Imagine the head as the shape of a ball. And like I mentioned, darkest part of the fruit is really the area right by the drop shadow. It's the area between the object and the drop shadow, and it becomes very, very, very dark. So we're gonna define that value. I think we need to be darker. So this is the darkest color I can find, which is the Terry Ludwig eggplant. I really depend on this for all of my drawings. So this eggplant is about the darkest color I will use. I want to make sure every color I use has a tendency, which means has either a temperature either cooler or warmer, either more red, more green, more purple. I want it to have color and not just grayscale or black and white. At the end of the day, you're painting something in color, and most of the objects are in color. Even a white object is also in color. We can do a white object later. I can demonstrate how that would look. So I see a lot of warm tones inside the shadow, so I'll put it right next to the terminator. In this case, it's very simple. I see a lot of warm yellow, so especially by this area where it's really the reflection from the background. So don't worry about not finding the exact local color you need in your pastel stick. This is all about using broken color. So if you can't find the right green for the lime, and you look for yellow and blue, and combine them together will look green. So I'm going to start with the darkest mid-tone. Let's go with a blue. So try to define the value by the darkness and lightness, not by the intensity of the color. In this case, I know the color is too intense, so we're going to try to do a little scumbling to take it down. I see a lot of yellow, especially in the lighter area, so we're going to scumbling it down a little bit. Now I want to define the highlight, which is going to be here. The light is very strong today, so I want to make sure the highlight is clear. So that's where the highlight is. So now I have a value range from the lightest to the darkest. Now I'm gonna really go in and add in all the planes. So let's add light green here. Add some light green here. The sense of the colors. Don't worry about coloring inside the line. Don't worry about that, because we're going to layer it. That's what's so good about pastel matte, is you're able to layer it really well. I'm going to put in some variations of like a green blue here. Yeah, definitely pay attention to where the objects are hitting each other, and then there's a relationship there. So there's a little drop shadow from this line. Make it darker. The light is coming slightly from this direction as well. It's hitting the top of this line. I want to make it clear that's the case. So the light is hitting here. We also have some very warm area. That's the sunlight is hitting top of this line. And we have, this is the character of the line. It has a little tip on the top. We want to make sure we define that. In the other lime is actually on the inside. We want to define that. So try to capture the character of the fruit as much as you can, because at the end of the day, we're doing a realistic fruit here. We want it to be recognizable. So I want it to be a little sharper here to define the edge. So we have some lighter area here that's more toward the yellow hue. So we want to add that, because there's a lot of light coming from this direction as well. The lemons are by the window, so it's coming from behind it. Certain areas are looking very blue, which is okay. We can add some yellow to it. That's the beauty of pastel. And also you can use any pressure you want. So I'm going to add some yellow, and it's already becoming more green. Really beautiful, cool reflection here. I want to put it in. This really symbolizes the relationship between the two lines. They're connected. And I see a lot of light blue by the highlight. I think I'm going to scumble the highlight a little bit and extend it over here. I'm not shy about using white in the highlight area, because I usually layer things, so it's not going to look white at the end of the painting. The reason I use white is I want to make sure the value is clear. Now let's add some beautiful greens in this lime. There are still a lot of teal, a lot of yellow, some beautiful greens. Looking for beautiful colors in the shadow. The shadow is actually the most interesting part to play with for the variations of colors. There's always a little reflection at the edge of the object because it's a reflection from the bottom surface. So let's make sure we add that. And there's a little lighter plane over by the area the light is hitting. So we want to make sure we add the plane there. So this line will turn around. I see a lot of solid green. I want to make sure I add that. I do have some beautiful greens from my collection. I want to make sure we're utilizing those greens. So in this case, I see a lot of dark blue in it. Usually it's a complementary color. That's the shadow color. So we have a little warm green for the line, so usually it's a cool blue for the shadow. So we're gonna go in and just clean the background to finish up our line. Remember, there's color in everything, even the darkest drop shadow, there's color in it. And also remember to play with lost and found edge. Remember, the drop shadow is usually sharper. Make sure the value is correct. I want to make sure the shadows are dark enough. I'm gonna introduce some purple. It's a good complementary color. Remember to play with your colors. You don't have to use the local colors that much. A little bit is helpful to make sure people know it's a lime. But other than that, I put any color in you want. I changed my mind. I think the background will add something interesting to this painting. Well done! If you want to practice more, you can check out this episode next. Thank you.